great party, isn't it?
I started the
You just
recording. Yeah, wait, no, you can still tell me like some advice and stuff.
I'll do within the plot synopsis. You'll just introduce the movie.
Hello and welcome back to the Blood Bros podcast. Um, Today's episode we're doing The Hills Have Eyes Part 2.
Yeah, this movie was released in I think 1994, 1995. Whatever.
Around
This
that
movie
time.
is it is a paycheck movie made by Wes Craven because The Hills Have Eyes apparently made a lot of money and the studio wanted a sequel, but they shut production down when it was like three and a 3/4 of the way done, and then after A Nightmare on Elm Street came up, the studio just put a bunch of old scenes from the original and released it in theaters. And we
have
will be the end
seen
result.
the film, and so Aiden, what are your positives for The Hills Have Eyes Part 2?
I got none. I literally got none.
All right. I have an idea. How about we structure this episode a bit differently, where instead of positive, mixed, negative, we'll just hop straight into the negative and what we thought of the movie overall.
Okay, I have one mixed.
One mixed. Okay, tell me what you're mixed about the film.
Mixed is that it's too. My mix is that it's too short, but because it was too short, it means I could leave my chair quicker.
That's kind of a positive for me, dude, because I didn't want this to be any longer than it was. So
well, let's get into the negatives. You go first.
So I will just say really quick and how I feel about the movie in general, just really quickly before I hop into certain details. It's essentially Friday the 13th ripoff.
Exactly.
Pretty much, like the music, just the structure of it with the characters too. Like you get these teenagers that just have this fun, playful banter. You know. It's not great. It's not great.
It's the stereotypes. The stereotypes.
Yeah, stereotypical teens. You know, not the greatest written, but they do have some level of charm, I guess, to them. But I didn't hate this movie. I didn't like it. I was kind of impartial to it, and on one hand, it sucks and it's horrible. But on the other, it's a Friday the 13th ripoff. My expectations were on the floor, so seeing it wasn't.
I set your expectations perfectly.
Yeah, especially with you that you told me at school. I, which we'll get into later, but yeah, it wasn't as bad. It was still pretty awful, but it does kind of have some charm. Something about it to me just doesn't feel as cynical, or even it's not even that boring in my opinion, which you might disagree. You might find it boring. I just find the structure to be decent. I mean, it's been proven to work before, and the characters were not greatly written, but they entertained me enough.
Can I just go full blow into my negatives?
Yeah, go ahead.
This movie's boring as sin. This movie is an hour and 30 minutes, which you may think, oh, Aiden, that's not that very long. Yes, but the pacing of this movie is horrible.
Yeah.
It feels like 2.5 hours long. It's so boring. And nothing happens. Nothing substantial or exciting happens throughout the entirety of the runtime.
Well, I don't know. There are some neat stuff with there's a motorcycle chase scene, and
yeah, but
the ending has some stuff.
It's boring. Ruby, for some reason, is back as the husband to Bobby. Did you pick that up?
No, wait, what? She's what?
Yeah, the main.
I thought they were just friends.
No,
In this movie. I got
no,
that was Ruby and she was in the last movie, but I thought her and Bobby were just friends.
no.
Oh.
Bobby is married to one of the people whose family members trying to eat his sister, his
Yo.
baby sister, and kill half his family.
That's
What?
wacky. Her being in the movie is kind of wacky, but I didn't mind the
Also,
angle. Like
also,
it took
most unceremonious death by being pushed onto a rock. For
push
goodness sake.
pushed onto a rock.
Remember she
They
got
got
jumped
pushed
down
off a
and
cliff. Wait,
no,
what?
that was Pluto. Remember when like Reaper jump scared her and she fell and
Oh.
hit her head on the rock?
Oh
Yeah, most
yeah, yeah.
yeah,
The
most
explosion was much
unceremonious
cooler.
yeah, most unceremonious death ever. Um
Yeah.
Reaper is a horrible villain. One, because he's not in the movie that much. Two, he doesn't do anything.
I'm gonna
It's
deliver some hot takes, bro. Reaper isn't that bad. In fact, I prefer him to any bad guy in the first movie. And I'll say this too. This movie does improve Pluto for me. I don't know why, but something about him in this movie, he's kind
uh,
of goofy and he has more of a voice and I just feel like
I'll kind of give it to you. Yeah, I'll give it to you.
yeah, he feels like more of a character and less like a prototypey horror villain, and that's mainly because he's more like a henchman in this movie.
Okay, can I continue with my rant?
Yeah.
The characters are idiots. They're stereotypical idiots. I mean, there is a literal scene where one of the teens is chasing his girlfriend after spying on a another girl taking a shower, and he's chasing her on a giant bus in the middle of the desert in pursuit. Dude,
Yeah, no, that was not great. Especially with like, wasn't the bus supposed to like like run out of gas?
yes, exactly. For some reason, there is a sequence where two of the main I'm just gonna call them like throwaway meatheads, for some reason decided to give chase to this meet to Pluto, even though they have no idea who he is. They don't even know what is even going on. They just decided, hey, it'd be fun. Let's chase this random homeless person who stole our bike.
I saw it as they weren't intimidated and they're kind of like frat boys. They don't really understand any of the threat. It's just been tales and myths, and it's just some bozo to them. Just a
Frat
guy.
frat boy is high on crystals and drunk on keg are
Yeah,
smarter than them.
I, maybe, but like maybe, but still, like I didn't mind it. And they went out with motorcycles as to like
I don't
intimidate him.
care, and they are idiots that got themselves killed, and somehow one of them survived from getting a machete to the head.
Yeah, makes no sense.
Um, the movie, like I said, has nothing happen. So I mean, I'm pretty sure we complain about this like in the first movie where like the entire mill section nothing happens, but here nothing happens. Like literally nothing. There's bus we get introduced to meatheads and Ruby again. Meatheads and Ruby go to desert. Bus slows down. Ruby and Meatheads discover a little town. Ruby gets attacked by Pluto. Fight scene ensues. Pluto leaves, steals bike. Meatheads go after him. Meatheads get killed. And then we resume to our Friday the 13th special.
I'm gonna have to I'm gonna have to challenge you on that because I would say this movie is as eventful as the first Friday the 13th movie. Because that movie has so many scenes of just characters just talking with these stereotypical teens. And I don't mind that movie. I kind of like it. It's an all right movie. But
Yeah,
it's like it that's why it didn't really bother me in this movie because that's kind of the cheap grindhouse slasher to me.
I'm gonna hate Friday the 13th then.
Yeah, maybe.
Oh, and also I'm gonna. This is gonna take a forever. Um, the kills are terrible. They're not creative at all. It's nothing about this movie like screams like creative or imaginative, or at least I feel like no one cared making this movie. This was literally this is like I said, a paycheck movie for Wes Craven. They were like, "Hey Wes, want to make a sequel?" And Wes was like, "No." And then the studio's like, "But money." And then Wes was like, "Sure."
Now,
And then they and then they decided, "You know what? You're not worth our time. Bye bye." And Wes is like, "Oh, what a shame. I'll go make Nightmare on Elm Street." Nightmare on Elm Street comes out. Studio's like, "Ooh, look at that. Okay, where's that movie, Hills of Ice Part 2? Yeah, just put some sequences from the first movie. It'll be fine." And then they released it, and no one knew it existed.
yeah, yeah, I get what you're saying, Aiden. Real quick, there's a glitching thing going on with your
Yeah,
green screen.
I realized that.
Yeah. Just
Yeah,
I
hold
guess it's
on,
a yeah.
hold on. I'm just gonna try to keep my head still.
Yeah, I don't know. We can keep it in. I mean, it's like a listening thing, but it'd be a little bit distracting. It's fine though.
The directing is boring. Like with every Wes Craven movie, there's at least an edge to it. There's like something spice. There's like you know what I mean. Like there's that tang to it. Whether the movies go downhill, i.e. Swamp Thing, or they go brilliantly, i.e. Nightmare on Elm Street. There's always something like creative with it in the movie.
I
This is
uh
nothing.
I agree. He does have some style in most of his movies, and this movie kind of lacks a lot of that style. But I will say, I wouldn't say it's totally effortless. There is, I can't believe I'm defending this movie right now. But out of all the movies in his career that I would defend, it's this one. Um,
Uh, I'm ashamed.
all right, so first thing, I'm gonna have to challenge you on the kills because I didn't mind them. Like the one where the guy gets like grabbed from the bottom of the bus and like dragged underneath. That
Yeah,
wasn't the worst kill.
we literally got to see
I
nothing.
liked it. Yeah, well, but then they showed his
Listen,
body later,
we
and I was
literally
like,
just got off Nightmare on Elm Street with like women being flung around a room and Johnny Depp's blood coming out of a bed.
dude, oh my god, I can't believe that I'm actually defending this movie, bro.
Yeah, come on.
That's
Also,
hilarious.
I know something you definitely won't fight me against. The
Yeah.
flashbacks. What the
No,
heck?
I will not disagree with you on that. That was the worst part of the movie. That was offensive to me.
They literally do nothing. It's the throughout the like entire like first act, they're sprinkled in. Not very and they're not edited at all. They're just like the scene. I mean, even to the point where the dog has the flashback.
That was the
Yes,
most egregious example. Oh my
the
god.
dog. I will repeat to the audience. The dog has a flashback sequence. I'm sorry, I just got off barbecue, so
Wait, what?
I just ate barbecue. I just ate ribs, and I think I'm a little
Oh,
heightened.
uh,
Also,
he's
also,
on edge.
I just hate this movie so much. This is the first movie where I literally stated that is 90 minutes of my life I am never getting back.
Don't mess with Aiden when he's on meat.
I hate this
He's
movie
he's
so
like
much.
Bruce from Finding Nemo. As soon as he gets a sniff of meat, he's like,
I hate this movie so much. Either way, I'm one more thing. The motives for the killers, they're not even cannibals anymore. They're just throwing bodies down mine shafts. Really?
they
Really?
own that land. That was the thing. They're like, we own
Also,
this land,
the
and we don't
main
want you guys
final
messing with
girl,
it.
what the heck was up with her? Like at first she seemed normal, but then all she's act then throughout the entire third act she's acting like she's blind or something.
She is
Or some
blind.
tele No, she's not blind.
Who's
They
the
made it
character? There's a
very
character that's blind.
No one is blind in that movie. If anyone was blind, I clearly did not know that.
No, no, no. There are, but the actress, she was doing a horrible job. Like you could tell she wasn't blind, but there was a small little line of dialogue that was like, "Yeah, you're blind. It's crazy that you can't see this thing right now." Like
Yes,
that
but
was literally the level of dialogue. But the
yeah, but I clearly missed that because if I didn't notice that line, I probably would think, is she is she telepathic or something? Is she using telekinesis? What is she doing? Is she feeling the force of the room? Is she feeling the bodies? What is happening? How are you able to even maneuver this entire third act sequence where there's a killer after you?
who
How are you able to
knows?
do this?
Maybe
How
she's
are
got a
you
Daredevil thing going on. Heightened
no,
sentence.
no. This is not a superhero movie. This is a dumb teen slasher movie that came out in the 80s. This should not be real. Unless you're Friday the 13th, you cannot do this.
I, I don't know, man. I didn't hate it. I didn't hate it.
I hate this. And yeah.
I don't have any good reasons for not hating it all that much,
Oh,
other
and yeah,
than it's
oh
standard.
yeah, and the way they kill Reaper is terrible. It's basically the same way they killed Papa Jupiter in the last one, but except Reaper's an idiot. I mean, he literally says, Papa
Papa
Reaper don't
Jupe.
fall for that. Papa
Papa
Reaper not
Jupe.
stupid like Papa Jupiter. And then he literally goes into a bus where it
No, no,
explodes,
no.
where
He
the
says
fires
Papa Jupe.
literally Papa Jupe. Yeah, you get on your fedora in the middle of my rant.
Just
Yeah,
taking a
and then
moment,
he goes
chill.
to a bus where he ends up getting blown up like an idiot.
Yeah, yeah. But I don't know why, but for some reason, like the villains are obviously idiots, and that's why I didn't really care that much. Like Pluto, he's like,
But
you remember that scene where he's like nagging the dog? He's like, nan 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 to the
yeah,
dog. Dude, like what? I didn't mind it, but I was like, what the
I
heck is?
prefer Pluto's acting in this movie than in the first one, but I do not prefer the dialogue. The dialogue is horrible.
Yeah, that dialogue they gave
There is
Pluto.
only one scene in the movie that I like, and it was by a small margin. It was that when that jokey kid, the skinny one, just came out with a sickle with a bucket on his head.
I don't,
That was literally
where he's like,
there's this.
yeah, I'm scary. That scene.
Yes, that is the only scene that I liked. This
Uh,
movie is stupid. There is also a sequence at the beginning where there's a guy in the monster mask, and the movie's trying to trick you, like, "Ooh, is that's a hill peep? That's a hill person? That's a guy from the hills?" When obviously it's a Halloween mask. Like, why are you trying to build tension?
oh yeah, and
It's
they play like
so
music over it. It was so weird.
it's ugh. This movie just makes me physically angry. I am physically feel like I'm about to snap my computer in half. I hated this movie that much.
That's a hilarious idea to me. I don't know why I didn't hate it. I thought it sucked, but I didn't like. I didn't
I
have
hate this
anything against
worse
it.
than Swamp Thing and The Last House on the Left.
I prefer
Wait,
this to Swamp Thing. I
yeah,
just do.
hold
Look,
on. Yeah, Bree? Oh, sorry. Um, I'll be right back.
all right. You back, man?
I'm back. I'm back.
He's back.
I'm gonna continue on my final rant.
Yeah.
Yeah, the motor. Yeah, yeah, this movie's just terrible. Everything feels a lot cheaper than the first movie, which is astounding because the original was made with less money. This one just feels cheaper. This one feels so cheap.
This one didn't
It
feel cheaper to me.
it felt lazy. It's cheap. I felt like it was cheap. It It was cheap,
I don't
cheap.
know. That was one of the things I kind of liked to this over the original is that it to me didn't feel cheaper. It felt like a higher budget because most of the first movie just takes place in like a random desert like location. Like
Defending this movie.
I'm defending it.
Also,
Uh,
the third act. You can't argue me on this. The third act is much worse than the first one.
all right,
Much.
I'll give that to you. I kind of like the first movie's third act. Although one thing I have noticed, which I noticed the first time I watched Hills Have Eyes, but I didn't really think much of, was I don't really like the chases all that much when they're just running on foot because they're just showed in these wide shots and it's so like it feels so fake to me and it doesn't
Hmm,
feel intense. But there
hmm.
aren't too many of those in both of these
I
movies.
prefer the sequence when they're trying to like kill Papa Jupe. Papa Jeep.
Yeah, or like there's the Nicolas Cage look-alike sequence where he's got to get his baby back, and I think
Nicolas Cage he looks nothing like
he
Nicolas
looks
Cage.
just like I will fight you till the end of time on this. He looks just like Nicolas Cage. I swear.
Really? Porn
Whip up
stash
a
looks like Nick
photo
Cage?
of like younger, like Raising Arizona, like Wild at Heart, Nicolas Cage, and then
Okay, I'm doing it.
do it now. Yeah.
Young Nick Cage. No, he looks
No,
nothing like
look up
that.
the guy. Look up the guy from Hills Have Eyes. It looks just like him. Share your screen. Wait, I'm gonna make you host. Let you share your screen so we can show the
No,
audience.
no. I'm just gonna. Great, took me to the remake. Took me to the remake.
They should have casted Nicolas Cage in the remake. Oh my god, that would have been perfect casting. If they would have gotten Nicolas Cage to play that same character in the remake, that would be a dream come true. Have you
I
pulled it up?
beg to differ. Okay, I beg to differ.
Why? Nicolas Cage is a
Where?
great actor.
Nicolas Cage is a great actor. I saw him in The Rock. He's awesome.
Yeah, I need to watch that. Maybe we could talk about that sometime.
The Rock.
Yeah. I liked him a lot in a movie called Adaptation.
He looks nothing like
He
him.
does. He looks just like him.
I saw him. He looks nothing like Nick
Look at it. Look at his.
Cage.
Look up Raising Arizona. Look up Raising Arizona. Go to images.
Can we? No, no, I'm not.
No, real quick.
Let's
I'm gonna fight
forget.
you on this, bro.
No, no. Remember, we're wasting time. Remember, this is
I'm
something we're
I'm gonna
trying to
edit. I'm gonna
avoid.
chop this up. I'm gonna chop this up. But real quick, let me.
Fine,
All right.
fine.
Hills Have Eyes.
See, raising Arizona. Nick Cage. No,
Yeah. Yes. He looks just like him, dude.
he
Look.
looks nothing
I'm looking
like
at the guy now. Look.
Porn Stash.
Yo, what?
The guy from the original, yeah, Porn Stash.
Speaking of Raising Arizona, there's a character at the end of that movie that looks just like Reaper from this movie. That's a crazy coincidence? I just realized that. I'm sharing my
Can
screen. I
we
gotta.
can we just move on to your
No, no, no.
negatives?
Look at my screen real quick. Look at
Oh
my
my god,
screen. Look at
you're
this.
gonna. Okay, I kind of see the resemblance now.
That guy, and that guy, same guy.
Okay, I kind of see it now.
It's literally him. Not
Okay,
that,
can
but
we
like
move on
here.
from this now?
Well, that's all
Can
I'm
we?
saying. Look, it's literally him, dude. Look at this. Look at
Can we?
this.
Please, let's just move on.
The dumbest thing ever.
Can we go on with your negatives,
Yes,
please?
we can go on with your negatives. I'll let you get back to the rant.
Oh no, I'm done with my rant.
You're done with it? Okay.
Yeah.
Um. Um. so, negatives when it comes to the movie for me, it's super forgettable. Like, I just watched it this morning and I can hardly remember like what happens in it.
Exactly.
I know I wasn't bored to tears by it, but it doesn't stick with me at all, and the characters can be quite unlikable. I don't know if you felt this. I found
I
some of them
hated
quite
all of them.
annoying. You
I
hated
hit
all
it.
of them?
I I hated all of them out of because they were just so generic. There was nothing to them. Their dialogue was horribly ran. Okay, I'm ranting again.
I thought the worst one was the young black kid. I thought his
Oh
dialogue
yeah. Oh
was
yeah, he's the worst.
pretty bad because it was Wes Craven wrote this film, or who did? It was
He
probably
wrote
some
this. He wrote this.
yeah, it was probably some older white guy trying to write dialogue for a stereotypical young black man. So
Oddly enough, in the movie The People Under Stairs, he wrote a pretty good little black child.
yeah, well, I'm excited to see
Maybe
that
we
one.
shouldn't say this in the video, you know?
Wait, well, I'm just saying, like, I'm just saying he didn't do. He wrote this. I don't think he did a good job with that character. He's kind of what is it? What's the word? It's like stereotypical. Another word for that, like,
Generic.
yeah, he's like generic. How they would write a young black teen back in the day,
He's
where it's like,
generic. He's generic horny boy.
yeah, I
That's
don't
what I
think
would call
that's how people actually sound. Like anyone in this movie.
him. No one sound. That might sound like something like Deandra would say.
Well, no, it's a bit similar, but the difference is nothing the characters have to say in this movie is funny. So real people, they tend to, when they make jokes, they tend to, have them be funny, except for me.
Again we should be very careful what we just said back there, because
Why?
some of our viewers might think we're racist.
Yo,
I don't
how
know
am I
why.
racist? Just for pointing out that the writing for a young black character is not great, and that they kind of play into a
But here's the thing:
trope.
we're in the modern age where people are easily offended.
But that's not something offensive. I
Oh,
think.
people will find that offensive.
Well,
Trust me.
look. Let's try and get in their minds real quick. What about that statement is offensive?
I have no idea, but it's probably offensive to someone. I just know it.
Because, yeah, no, I don't see how it's offensive. But I guess if you're offended by it,
I don't know why.
either I need to get a brain or you do. We can't tell yet. It's. I
Yeah,
think
let's just cut this part out.
I'll cut. I won't cut this out. I stand by it. That's not. Come on. That's not. I'll cut parts of it out.
Yeah.
That part where you were calling that young black man. No. Back to Hills Have Eyes Part Two. See, that's the thing with this movie, dude. It's so unspecial and
Lifeless.
just kind of standard
It's
and lifeless.
lifeless.
Yeah, that there isn't a lot to talk about other than it kind of does suck. I don't know. Me
And yet
personally,
you spend a majority of my rant trying to defend it.
well, it's just like something to me about it. I came in expecting the worst thing ever, and this was only a bit worse than the first Friday the 13th movie, and I was like, hey, that's not bad for a bit worse than that movie. So
I've I've seen Batman and Robin. I've seen Elektra the movie. I've seen Fan Four Stick. This
Fan
is worst
Stick
out
was
of all
pretty
of them.
bad. I disagree, bro. Fan Stick, I would argue, is worse. Fan Stick is more boring.
I disagree.
You disagree. All right, all right.
At
Why
least
is
until
this?
at least until the third act,
Why is this worse though?
because boring as sin and everything about it is written
Yeah,
awfully.
but this is shorter. This is boring, but it's shorter. You know what I'm saying?
Don't care.
I don't,
This is like I said. This is the first movie where I was like, I wasted 30 minutes of my life on this that I'm
30
never
minutes,
getting back.
I guess.
What I stayed up until 12 in the morning to watch this.
See, me, I
Do you
watched
know
it in the
how
morning while I
tired
was
I
making
was?
breakfast. How
Do
tired
you
were
know
you?
do you know how tired I was
I feel
during
bad
that?
because that was a school day, right? School night?
Yes.
Imagine, dude. You wake up the
That was the
next day.
last movie I watched before bed.
I gotta get I gotta get all my assignments done. Oh, why did I watch Hills Have Eyes Part 2? Why, oh
Yeah.
why?
Yeah, you continue with your negatives. I'm gonna do something real quick.
Alright, so all I gotta say is just really boring, but not super boring. I was not bored to tears, but let's just say let's just say it wasn't great, and the only real reason why I like it is because I have my expectations were on the floor, and this wasn't the worst thing ever, and also that I kind of like a standard slasher, like the structure to a standard slasher. I
I'm
kind
not
of
gonna
like.
lie to you. I can enjoy those, but there's a limit.
Yeah,
There's a limit where you can be stupid enough, but it's still entertaining. This is just stupid. I hated this. But I'm getting off track.
no, I
But
can
I'm
see I can see how you would think that or how anyone would think that, but me personally, it didn't really bug me that much. That's really it for me.
How are you defending this movie?
I don't know. It's not the worst thing. I was like, look, I was relieved because there was a point in the movie where there was color, right? There was this full like this really red shot, and I was like, wow, this shot is red. And I was like, wow, that's cool because the first Hills Have Eyes, it was just like it's just kind of a desert look the whole movie, and this movie's got red and a school bus and motorcycles, so I'm like, hey, I'm all for it.
Where's the chloroform?
This movie is actually not that bad because it has motorcycles and a bus in it. Wow, amazing. A movie's
Can we move on to our? Are you done? Are you done?
Nah, I'd say that's it. I'd say if you don't have anything more to say, I'm ready to get on to my
I,
ratings.
I I'm getting to my ratings
Yeah,
now.
what would you give it?
A 0 out of 10. I absolutely hated this movie.
A
I
zero?
hated it. I never want to watch this movie again.
Would a 0 out of 0 be equivalent to a 10 out of 10, or because it's a 0, then
0 out of 10.
no, 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 a 0 out of 0. I'm just like in my mind, that's a crazy little thing. If it's 0 out of 0, is that equal to 1?
I, 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 what?
Is a 0 out of 0 equal to 100 out of 100? Because it's the
No.
maximum and the minimum.
No, now give your score. I have a gun right here.
Yo, what the heck? Yo, you gotta pull it back a
It's a.
little bit. It's out of focus.
Oh.
Let me tell you how to frame this gunshot, okay?
How are you? Why are we doing this? Oh, there. It's a
There you go.
revolver.
There you go. All right, now
Okay,
now you can pull the
give me your
trigger.
rating. It better be low.
It better be low. I'm gonna give this one a 3 out of 3.
It's supposed to be out
It's
of 10.
a absolute masterclass in the horror genre. This Wes Craven guy proves himself again
I'm not
as
even gonna quote this movie.
no, I will gladly. I will gladly quote this movie. You're just gonna
Fine.
have to give me like 10
Wait, I
minutes for
already
me to
did
quote.
quote the movie.
What'd you say?
Dang it! I promised myself I wouldn't quote this movie.
You couldn't stand by it. Too much of a legend. But at the same time, you couldn't quote Swamp Thing.
Oh,
Mm,
oh, Hills of Ice Part 2.
it sucked.
That was my stepmom.
Mm. Does she know what Hills Have Eyes is?
No,
All right, good, because I think my mom would. So that's why I don't tell her about it.
Hmm.
Nah, but
She probably knows the remake.
yeah, yeah. My actual score would be a 3 out of 10, which is higher than my Swamp Thing score. So kind of funny, kind of funny. But I will
I
say,
still thought Swamp Thing was hilarious.
Swamp Thing is like more of a guilty pleasure for me. Where like
Yeah.
if I can't believe I'm saying this, but if I'm gonna take the quality of the film, I think Hills Have Eyes Part Two is a better movie.
You put on your little
Dead
fedora.
silence. Yeah.
Well, where's my? I don't
Dude,
have a hat. I have a gun.
this is perhaps the wackiest episode we've ever done. The
This is
only
probably. If anyone at school discovers this episode, this is the one they're going to be most entertained by.
yeah.
By my rant and your fedora.
Yeah. Well, it's just like it's not that bad. I mean, it's 0% on Rotten Tomatoes.
It's that bad.
No, it's not.
People, don't watch it. Don't watch it. Wow, my
Watch
face is
it.
really
It's
up
not.
close.
It's not that bad. It's not that bad.
Watch it with a bunch of friends if you're going to. Then
Put it
watch it
on
with
in
friends.
the background while you're eating breakfast. That's how I watched it. Well, not in the background.
What?
I focus, but like.
If I were ever to watch this movie again, if I really had to, I would have at least a couple of friends and we'd be making fun of it the entire time. That's the only way I would make it through it.
I couldn't with that, man. There are certain movies I would, but I just know like my friends they would be bored with this. You know, they would be like, "Shut it off, man. Shut it off."
But Swamp Thing, on the other hand,
Swamp Thing. Now that I can turn on any day of the week. Get the
we
extended
can
cut
turn
ready
it.
for my boys.
Huh?
Get the extended cut ready for my boys.
Sure.
Me and the boys chilling to the Swamp Thing extended cut.
We just have to make sure your parents are. Don't worry, I'll keep the gun.
My
I don't know
dad
why
will
I'm
be cool
making.
with it, but I
I
don't
don't
know
know
about
why
my
I keep
mom.
making so many gun jokes right now.
Again, don't mess with Aiden after he's eating meat, okay?
Don't mess with me when we're talking about a movie that I hate.
Dude, I look Amish when I put the fedora with the headphones on. I swear to God, look at
Oh,
me,
what a
dude. I
cool!
look like a Deadly Blessing character.
Good
That's
on
amazing.
you.
Yeah, that's
Good on
great.
you. A movie that you hate.
I hate. No, that's actually my second favorite Wes Craven so far.
Uh,
Right behind Hills Have Eyes Part 2, naturally. I don't know
you're
why.
making me really angry
I
right now.
don't hate this movie
And
though.
you're
It's
not gonna like me when I'm hungry. Wait, what? Angry.
angry. Bro, you just ate.
I was quoting Hulk.
Going back for a second.
Oh, no,
Yo,
I'm still here. It's
yeah.
just
Just
I'm
lean
in the
back, dude.
background.
Yeah. Trying to disassociate yourself with my hot takes.
Yes,
Don't want
with
to be
all of
seen
your.
on screen at the same
The
time I'm saying
last
Hills
house
Have.
on the left is better than this. I
It is. It is.
thank you.
I agree. It is. Although personally, on my enjoyment scale, I like this movie more. Dude, that's
Can we
hilarious.
end this video?
Okay, buddy. Okay. Yo, that's the end of it. All right. Thank you for watching the Blood Bros. Next episode, we're gonna be talking about Batman
Deadly
Mask of the
friend.
Phantasm. Well, the next Wes
Oh,
Craven, but next episode we're doing Mask of the Phantasm. What?
can we do that over the weekend when I
Yeah,
actually have
yeah,
time?
yeah. Sure. I mean, I'm not in a rush. I'm gonna watch it like Thursday or Friday, maybe.
I'm gonna watch it over the weekend.
That's cool. It's a really short movie, so it's like
Yeah,
it's an hour 30, which is pretty
yeah,
quick for a Batman movie. So
yeah.
next episode we're doing Mask of the Phantasm, and if you're here for the Craven review series,
Our next friend will be Deadly Friend, which I hear is so bad that it is terrific.
I can't wait. This Wes Craven
I
guy, I'm really warming up to. You know, with
especially after Nightmare on Elm Street.
and especially after Hills Have Eyes Part 2.
That was a paycheck movie.
Yo, I can't with this movie, dude. It's a masterpiece. I swear.
You said The Godfather was a masterpiece, and you're saying this is a masterpiece?
The Godfather is a masterpiece.
Yes, you say that, but then you say this is a masterpiece, which is clearly
Well,
not.
they're both masterpieces in their own way, Aiden. Let's not be too
Oh, I get
critical
it.
on
The
the
Hills
movies.
Have Eyes is a masterpiece of garbage. The maestro of garbage.
Aiden, let's not be too critical here, man. It's just a movie, dude. It's just
It's
you're supposed to turn off your brain and not think about it, dude. What? It's only The Hills Have Eyes Part 2, dude. Just sit back and enjoy the ride.
I can't. It's too stupid. I can do that with like Resident Evil. I can't do it with this. I could do
Resident.
it with Swamp Thing, not this.
This movie's too great.
Yeah.
It's an
Wait.
underappreciated classic.
This
I'm,
is if we're raking this series, this is going at the bottom.
dude, I'm genuinely considering rewatching this and raising my score. I'm not even joking. I feel like I would go up on a rewatch. I'm not even
Where's
joking.
that Glock? Where's that Glock? Why am I making so many gun jokes? This
You
is
just
getting
want to,
stupid.
bro. You just have the urge to shoot me now because I keep
I
saying I
don't
love.
have the urge to shoot you. It's a joke. I
I
just
don't
have
know
this
anymore,
thing.
buddy. I don't know.
I just have a toy revolver from when I was James Bond for Halloween. I just felt like it would be funny.
Ooh. By the
No,
way,
keep the
none of
fedora
what
on.
I
Keep
said
the.
was a an April Fool's joke, an out of season April Fool's joke. I'm not joking. This is not the end bit to my episode, to our episode. I actually don't hate this, but what I will say is, hey, Aiden, you got something to say to end it because I don't even know.
I can't swear. My parents will hear it, so all I'll say is, "F this movie."
F this movie, fantastic out of
Yes,
10.
you know what I mean.
You know what I'm saying, man. You know what I'm saying. You do know what I'm saying, though, right? Like Hills Have Eyes 2. Now that's cinema. Pull out the gun and shoot me. That's the end
That's how
joke.
we're ending the video. I'm
No,
just
pull out
going
the gun and
away.
shoot me. I'll edit in like a little Glock sound effect.
Okay. Well, Mateo, yeah, this coming.